Hey guys, Dwaine here. Many of you already shop Amazon using our link, and we thank you for that. In fact, we thank you very much. Would you consider becoming a D&D patron? It's really easy to do, and it's a great way to say, thanks D&D for the family-friendly entertainment you provide to me each week. So head on over to our website, select the green Patreon button in the right column, and who knows, you might even enjoy some of the perks that come along with being a patron. Let's get on with the show.
This is Kelly Wentworth from Survivor San Juan del Sur, and you're about to listen to one of my favorite sources for all things Survivor. This is Survivor Talk with D&D. So find your flint, grab a bag of rice, and all your fishing gear, and let the bartering begin. Take it away, D&D.
Hello, everybody. This is Dwaine.
And David.
And we're just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. And tonight we are live on our website. People are in the chat room chatting, and I am watching Twitter, hashtag STWDD, to get your thoughts on the air. Also, I want to thank everybody who bought a shirt. We sold enough to be able to get them printed. If you still want some, I guess if 10 more people click on the link and say, yeah, we still want one, then they'll do them again. So if you're still wanting one, you can do that. But you should be getting your shirts no later than March 27th, David. So that's good. Also, a big congratulations to Shayna Davis. She is one of our patrons, and she won our patron drawing for a T-shirt signed by the cast of Worlds Apart. So that was a drawing we had for our patrons, and Shayna, of all people, won it. Pretty crazy, isn't it?
We call her Queen Shayna, don't we? She is Queen of the numbers.
Yeah, that's right. If you aren't a patron of D&D, you can be. Just click on the link on our website. On our website, we host two blogs, Shayna's blog and Alex's blog. And both are very good. Alex has been getting a lot of hits on our website, so I'm very happy for him.
I hope he's okay.
Well, they're not hard hits. They're just kind of like soft. You know, they're not like Rodney throwing wood on a pile type of hit.
Oh my! Through the pile.
Yeah,
that was nothing but ash right. and cinders
right.
after he was done.
Right. That's not the kind of hit it is.
Okay, good.
It's a little different than that.
He might not survive the season if he's getting hits like that.
Right. He might not. So, hey, I just discovered something that I like. All right, coming soon, y'all. In fact, if you're listening to this on Monday, actually, what day are we recording, David? Sunday or Monday?
Monday.
If you're listening to this on Monday, David, Will, the Giant Ninja, and myself will be recording our first ever episode of Movie Talk with D&D, as it is now called Movie Talk with D&D. It won't go out for audio until later in the week. But it will be out, and we're going to talk about Die Hard. So to prepare for that show, you need to go on iTunes and look up Movie Talk with D&D and subscribe. It's the old Shooting the Breeze with D&D link, and there's nothing I can do about that. I mean, I could start a whole new show, but then I would lose all our subscribers. And I just really don't want to do that. So, Movie Talk with D&D. There's a lot of shows called Movie Talk, but there are no shows called Movie Talk with D&D except for ours, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and you also might want to watch the movie before you listen to the podcast, because we'll be rewatching it. I've seen it. I'd say I've seen it probably 6 or 8 times on DVD and probably 20 to 30 times on TV.
Right.
And bits and pieces. But I'm still going to watch it. Tomorrow night, I've got, Davis has got a buddy coming over. The ladies are out of the house. Tomorrow night is Die Hard night.
Wait. You're going to watch Die Hard with your 10-year-old?
No, he's got a buddy coming over, and they're going to be playing probably on the Wii or watching a movie or something. So I'll be watching Die Hard.
Daddy, what does Yippee-Ki-Yay mean? But anyway, yeah, hey, I bought it on iTunes because I don't own it. Mm-hmm. It was $14.99 in HD version, and it's got all these extra features and stuff. Sweet. So I'm going to come prepared.
Well, that'll be a change.
No, I'm just going to watch. Oh, thanks. No, seriously, I'm just going to watch it. I'm not going to watch all the extra features. I'll let you have all that wonderful information I will not have all that wonderful information.
There is a lot of wonderful information. So if you don't know much about Die Hard other than the movie, listen to the podcast. It's going to be fun.
And I do have a request for you, David.
Yes.
That you disseminate the amazing amount of information you are going to have in spurts throughout the show, not all at once.
That is the plan.
Okay, good.
So the first 45 minutes will be all about Die Hard, and then we'll start talking about the movie.
But we are going to talk through the movie. It's going to be a lot of fun, and Will's going to be our guest, and if we can keep him contained, it'll be even more fun.
I just hope he feels comfortable enough to speak out. You know, he can be kind of quiet.
Well, that is often a problem.
Yes.
So, but anyway, watch the movie Die Hard, and go. And we also have a Facebook group, Movie Talk with D&D. And it's facebook.com/group/MTWDD. And of course, if you're not a member of our Survivor Talk Facebook group, hello, that's the group to be a part of. Survivor Talk is the group name. All right? So be sure to do that. David, you know what, David?
What, Dwayne?
I am sick and tired of how little you do for our podcast. I mean, seriously, my mentor and father figure, oh mighty holy beloved Reverend Bob, always taught me that if I want to work, everyone else should want to work too, and you just aren't pulling your weight around here.
You're trying to get another tweet, aren't you? But you didn't do the voice. But you know what? You shouldn't do the voice anymore. Rodney's got the voice.
My mentor and father figure, almighty holy beloved Reverend Bob, always taught me that if I want to work, everyone else should have to work too. If I get up at 6, David, you should have to get up at 6.
Hey, if I get up at 4:55, you should come get up at 4:55 with me.
Dude, that's 3:55 my time. I am not getting up.
I've already had second breakfast by the time you're getting up. So,
yeah. Crazy is as crazy does. What was crazy in this title? I mean, body surfing was not crazy.
I think he was talking about Shireen when Tyler said that.
Oh,
so
Tyler said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got the points for it.
But every time they played the preview, it was crazy is as crazy does, and they showed Jen and Haley out, in the water.
Gee, why do you think they showed two girls out surfing in the water?
I don't know. But why wasn't Nina out there? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I can't answer that. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a very good question.
And where's Joe? I mean, why doesn't Joe go, hey, I'll go body surfing with y'all?
He's catching lizards.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah. All right. Initial thoughts. I do have a few initial thoughts. Do you have any, David?
I have one.
All right. By the way, after we do a recap of the show, we do have feedback tonight. We have 4. Mm-hmm. We do not have a Miko's challenge.
Oh.
But I do have something special surprise for David. And
is it a parody?
Here we go. No, but I'm working on one.
Okay.
I think I might have one, but I'm kind of torn. By the way, Connie wanted me to ask you a question, but it is so inappropriate, I can't ask you on the air.
Well, thanks for bringing it up on the air.
So remind me after we're done recording. It had to do with the monkey, and that's all I'm going to tell you.
Oh, bless her heart.
She had me rewind, and she went, oh, my gosh. And so she had a question for you about that. But I'm not going to ask.
She couldn't ask you?
No. Wait. No. She wanted me to quiz you on it somehow. She wanted me to know if you knew.
So the Connie Monkey Challenge. Is that what it's going to be? Oh, boy. That might have to be a patron-only podcast.
Hey, we only need, $41 more a month? And we'll do a patron-only podcast. Not all the time, just one. That's going to be fun. But anyway, I found myself wondering during this episode, really, really, David, reflecting a lot on this. What are Haley's first 2 passions in life?
Are you asking me, or is that rhetorical?
No, that is what I was pondering throughout this episode. What are Haley's first 2 passions? Because we know what her third is. It's body surfing.
Yes.
When she applies for college or she applies for a job one day and they say, what are your hobbies or what are your passions in life? She's going to list 1, 2, body surfing. It's number 3.
No, I got a question. Is it really body surfing if you're using like a boogie board?
Okay, it's not body surfing. It's...
No, they called it body surfing, I think. I mean, they called it that too. So maybe it started out as body surfing, and then they found the driftwood saying, this is much better. Let's boogie board.
I don't know. Okay. Maybe where they live, they actually know what it's called, since we don't live. Well, you live near an ocean, but when was the last time you went to the ocean near your house?
Yes, but it's been snowing, so I've had water all the way up to my house.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, I see how it is.
I'll be going soon, though.
All right. Do you have? I have another initial thought, but do you have another one?
I have my one, yeah, that you haven't asked me for yet.
Well, then let's hear your one, David.
My one, besides the fact that I barely have 3 pages of notes, is that I hope Haley lasts long in this game because I like it when she talks at Tribal Council.
Oh, yeah?
I loved what she said. I thought it was very smart, and I asked you to pull the sound bit, and you're going to play it later. And I stopped and looked at Gracie, and I said, there you go. That's Survivor, and that's why she's going home. The person that was going home. Right. So that she put it in a nutshell right out there in front of her. So I really enjoyed what she said.
We wouldn't want to spoil anybody, but Nina went home.
Spoiler alert. Okay.
Yeah. It's a spoiler button.
Of course, we're supposed to say spoiler alert before you say the spoiler.
Man, if you listen to our show before watching it, then you must want to know what's going to happen.
Right.
Since it is a recap and feedback show.
But there was this. I will say my other thought was I was entertained, but I was not overly impressed. In fact, I was underimpressed with behavior. So we'll talk about that. That was my other initial thought. What's yours?
All right. When the object of the game is to put water in a bucket, just my opinion here, but it works better if you pour all the water into the bucket. Just a thought.
Yeah, but the free spirits, they don't really follow the rules. Yeah. You know, they figured if they get enough on the platform, it'll loosen up the bolts and it'll drop the bucket.
Hell, they put their first bucket of, a couple of drops in.
No caller getting half the water, not even in the bucket. Do you understand the challenge?
Nina is over there eating a snow cone.
You've sent her away.
And Nina says, what?
Oh, man.
All right. Night number 6. No caller. I don't have anything for previously on.
I don't either.
Okay. Night number 6. No caller. Will, my friends, hey, look, Will knows how to tell his immense strategic thoughts on this game. I'm playing chess, man, not checkers. There you go.
I wonder if that was his or if he heard it from a previous season.
I don't know. Maybe so. Who said it previously, David?
Didn't Zane play it?
Man, I don't know.
Play it or say it. He said something about playing something like that. Playing checkers or something, whatever it was. I don't know what he said. Because he said the first episode he was gone. But I said last week that I thought Will made the right move. I still think Will made the right move. Because he could have been the one gone this week. But it was really going to depend. His standing in this tribe was really going to depend on how he came back this night, night 6, after Tribal Council, and how he explained himself. So what's the first thing we hear Will say when they put their sticks down and everybody stops? He goes, what just happened? If you don't know, Will, you're not setting yourself up for any good vibes from anybody else.
We were going to ask you that, Will.
Yeah. You just made a big personal kind of selfish move, and you're asking what just happened.
Although he did save their butts.
He did. He saved Nina and he saved Jen, but I'd like to know if he explained that. I got a feeling he did. We just didn't get to hear it.
Yeah.
But that just kind of struck me as, well, you're the one that everybody knows didn't vote the way you were supposed to know. You're not the one that gets to say what just happened.
Now, do you go back to camp and say, look, I know I'm next. Just don't make me feel like an outsider before you vote me out. I know I'm going out. I mean, do you do that? Or do you go back to camp and think, okay, I'm going to fight. I'm not going to be the next one going home.
Are you asking me as David or me as Nina? Because Nina would do that if she, I guess.
Well, we know what Nina does.
No, I go back and I say, guys, I appreciate the chance you're giving me by keeping me here. I don't even act like Will was going to vote with me.
Exactly.
I say, thank you for the chance, and I want to prove myself. I want to eat lizards if y'all eat lizards. I want to go surfing if y'all go surfing. Well, that's what I would do. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Well, that's not what she did. And then Jen, we get to hear Jen's thoughts. Apparently, Nina brings up her hearing a lot. Mm-hmm. This is based on what their tribe is saying. In fact, she does so at tribal council in a way that I didn't think was appropriate. I mean, not appropriate, but fitting. I didn't think it really had to do with Joe's decision. But, Jen's like, stop using your hearing as an excuse. Just have fun. Just have fun, Nina. While we're out surfing, you have fun in the woods doing something.
Find some way to have fun.
Yes.
Whatever you want to do.
Watch us surf.
But we just come back from tribal council where we blindsided somebody, and the first thing she wants to do is make it a downer by saying, I know I'm next.
Right.
I know I've got the target. Let's not be cheery. No, let's do be cheery. Let's be cheery that you're still there.
That's right.
And the reason I say I was right about Will was because had they lost this challenge, which they might have with Will, the challenge non-beast on their tribe, which, hey, I could be the same way if I was on there.
Challenge non-beast.
If they lost this challenge, I guarantee you Will would be gone. So this got Will at least 3 more days. If they don't win, he's probably gone. If they do survive, he makes it to the merge or to the shuffle.
Which challenge are you talking about?
This challenge in this previous episode.
Oh, the one in this episode.
If they lose with Vince instead of Nina, if they still lose, Will's definitely going home.
Okay. Oh, right.
No doubt he's going home.
Okay. All right, day 7, white collar.
I've been really trying, trying to hold back this feeling for so long.
I just wrote monkey business.
Shireen is a little too excited about the monkey love.
Well, come on. I mean, what else is going on out there? They're not going to tribal council anymore. That's the last time. I mean, they're tired, they're hungry, and they just go around walking. I was surprised she was by herself. I didn't think people would go walking by themselves at the end of the game, but yeah, she was a little.
Well, according to her, they monkey loved 4 or 5 times, so she was probably out. Maybe she went out early. Long before, because they were all still laying down except for Max. Max was off by himself somewhere.
Yeah.
But they were all laying down whenever she got back, and she's kind of like coming back and waking them up and telling them about it. To me, it just looked like they weren't all that interested. I mean, okay, granted, if I'm out there, I mean, that's pretty cool. You get to see something you don't get to see every day.
Yeah. But I guess after a week, you've probably been hearing monkeys every other day, and it really doesn't matter what monkeys are doing.
It reminds me of what my mom did when I was a kid and we went to the zoo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, gosh. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, David. No. Gosh, David. I was young, probably 8 or 9 years old, and we all went to the St. Louis Zoo. And my mom starts just yelling at all of us excitedly to come watch. And we go watch, and this elephant is laying the largest elephant excrement you'd ever seen in your life.
Yes.
And my mom just would not stop going on and on and on about it. This is why we come to the zoo, to see things like this. Isn't this? It's like God gave us this special moment. That's my mom. I was like, that is gross and huge. But I didn't go back to my classroom and tell everybody about it.
Show and tell. Yeah, there was no show and tell.
Anyway, did you notice that Max is off? That Max isn't at the camp in the morning?
Actually, no, I didn't. I was more picking up on the fact that Carolyn laughed at Shireen, but Tyler was annoyed again.
Right.
He seems to be getting annoyed with people more often. And I wrote down that I wonder if Tyler's not being shown to be a bad player. He's shown to be an observant player. And later,
observant.
We see a little bit more of his working relationships with people. But I'm starting to wonder if Tyler is being set up to be some big move maker down the line. Because I think it was Probst that teased there's a big move later in the game. coming up is going to be real exciting. And I'm just wondering if Tyler is setting up for a big move because he's just pointing out little things about different people that he's not completely happy with, but he's doing it in confessionals, except for Joaquin or whatever he calls him. And of course, he's it's ironic that he's bonding with him, even though he voted against him the first round. He's kind of bonding with him. So I'm just wondering if Tyler's being set up as this flipper or big move maker coming up after the merge or something.
Right. Now, I will say this. It does seem like Tyler is playing it close to the chest that Carolyn has an idol.
Yes.
He may have told Max, but I don't think he's told Shireen, and I know he hasn't told Joaquin.
Yeah.
So he may have told Max. I don't know how close he and Max are, but I don't think he's told Shireen, and I know he hasn't told Joaquin. So that kind of bodes well to me for Mr. Tyler.
I like his edit. He's really getting a savvy edit. I guess that's what you call it, savvy. He's not being outlandish. He's not being verbose or anything. He's just being quiet but smart. And his confessionals are strategic. They're kind of opinionated, and it's kind of letting you to believe who he's not going to be aligned with come merge or shuffle.
Right. All right. What? Oh, Kathy Trantham is answering my question about what was Haley's passions in life. Jesus, friends and family, criminal justice system, surfing was not number 3. So she must have answered that somewhere. Kathy, that was not the whole gist. I was making a joke, Kathy. I didn't expect an actual answer. All right, so before we go to blue collar, let's end with I will tell you what Tyler said, since we're talking about Tyler. Shireen spent most of the morning talking about howler monkeys, and she is about as annoying and as loud and as intrusive as a howler monkey right now in our camp. She is trying to fit in, but in reality, the reality is she is painting a black X on her back. Interesting.
Trying to fit in. So he doesn't see her as fitting in with the group. I guess he feels that she's kind of doing like Dan, trying to find a way to fit back into the group. Or you think since the first challenge where they lost because of her, that she's trying to work her way back in?
Well, he wouldn't relate it to Dan, of course, because he
right.
I know that's not what you meant, but
yeah.
But apparently, I don't know. That's Tyler's perspective,
which makes me think that he feels he might be closer with Max and Carolyn than Shireen. So I don't know. I mean, we're getting a lot of interesting stuff from Tyler. A lot of interesting stuff that makes me think he's going to have a big part later on.
Right.
Which I had him out first, and I was completely wrong.
Okay. Mike Holloway says, Survivor Talk. No, I don't feel bad at all about you making fun of my voice after hearing your mom's impression.
Oh, man. Let me find some wood. Go find some wood so you can throw it through the window.
Go ahead and make fun of me. All right. Why is that still up? It shouldn't still be up. Oh, no.
Did you just lock yourself out of the podcast?
Oh, I hope not. There we go.
Oh, people were starting to cheer. How about that?
I know. All right, blue collar, man. Let's just chill in the morning sun. All having fun until Dan opens his mouth and makes it no more fun anymore.
What a downer. I mean, it was kind of like pure Survivor. Guys want food, girls want comfort. So it's kind of setting you up for maybe something that's coming up down the road. But it also reminds you that they're not sleeping and they're not eating. So I mean, This is real Survivor, and it's funny because Rodney talks about, well, I'm only getting about 5 hours of sleep total.
Right.
And Mike says, no, you're the first one to bed and the last one up. So, but to me, I was thinking, well, it's probably true. But at the same time, Rodney probably feels like he's only gotten about 5 hours of sleep. Because if Shireen chases the monkeys to the blue collar camp, then they're probably not going to be sleeping. But I mean, I can understand that because we got little food, little sleep, no comfort. So it doesn't take much to start a little irritation.
Well, they were all having fun, though. I mean, they were all messing with each other.
Yeah.
Until Danny decides to... Rodney says, yeah, nobody asked you, joking around. And Dan takes it too far. Yeah, your mother's a beep, too. And I went, whoa. And so did everybody at the camp.
Yeah. And you know who probably laughed? Dan's buddies in real life.
Yes,
because
that's about the only people that laughed.
Yeah, that's probably who that Dan says that to and gets away with it. But Rodney woke right up.
That's right.
He was up after that.
Dan's the kind of guy that jumps...
Even Mike gave a face. Even Mike gave a face like,
yeah.
Ooh, maybe I'm not on the chopping block anymore.
Right. It's like, go Dan. Say something about his sister now.
No.
Dan's the kind of guy that jumps straight to, yeah, we've been friends for years kind of talk. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, you meet Dan and he goes, your mother's a beep, and you're like, oh, wow, I don't even know you, but okay, But, okay, here's the problem, though. Dan could have gotten out of this, but instead of Dan realizing that he went too far, which I think he had to have realized he went too far, instead of going, oh, man, sorry, I went too far, instead he just lays there and laughs.
You think he was trying to laugh it off? Trying to backtrack then? Because we don't know if he could have apologized later when they were talking later. He could have done a lot of things, but...
No, I don't think... No. Right after it happened, he just stays laying there laughing, chuckling. I mean, that's what they show us.
To me, that's him just trying to laugh it off, trying to pull back what he said, but not necessarily apologizing for what he said.
Yeah, well, guess what? You might should have apologized, Dan. Lucky for you, you got Lindsay and Mike going at each other.
Yeah.
Like Gandalf and Sauron. All right, so then we get to hear from Kelly a little bit. These guys are emotional. Of course, the only time we hear from Kelly is in a confessional.
It's in an observing confessional.
Which is not bad. That's not a bad thing. Kelly is out of the radar.
Well, you got Sierra the nodder and agreeer, and then Kelly the observer.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we know the other people.
Yeah. Sierra will try to say something, but only in the, it's like 2 decibels or 10 decibels below Lindsay.
Yeah.
Of course, that's later on, but anyway. So, anyway, the reason why we don't hear a lot from Kelly is because she's staying outside of the crossfire. She's doing what she said in her confessionals, and she's observing.
Yeah. What did you think about what she said about, cops taking their time sometimes to get to a bar fight to kind of let it simmer down before they get there?
Yeah. That was funny.
It kind of reminded me of hockey referees. They don't jump right in because they don't want to get hit. Let the guys simmer down, let a shirt get pulled, and all of a sudden, okay, now we can break you up safely.
Right. All right, David, it's time to go to the no-caller tribe.
But
bring out the helicopters. What, you got something else?
Well, Kelly's final comment was that Rodney is a drama queen.
Oh, yes, she did say that.
So that was interesting. That's who the last name she gave.
Bring out the helicopters and underwater cams. It's surf time.
If everybody had an ocean across the USA, then everybody'd be...
So what's the opposite of a delay? Because I pictured the scene that you're describing, and I heard that music, and then you turned it on, and I'm thinking, why didn't they get that music for that part of the episode? Because I swear I heard that music right before you started playing it.
That's weird.
That is weird.
Is that the song that the Beach Boys blatantly stole from somebody in the 50s or 60s or 40s?
Oh, I don't know. That's before my
I'm
time.
pretty sure it is. It's like a lot more obvious than the old Robin Thicke thing.
Yeah.
Really obviously stole it, and they had to pay money.
I don't.
But like it really hurt them. Yeah, sure. We'll give you $50 million of our $5 trillion we've made on this song.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, were you like? I was seriously impressed with Joe. I mean, did he actually whack the wizard and kill it, or did he just whack the wizard and then go catch the lizard?
I think a little bit of both, but I think the second one. I think he hit it enough that it slowed it down and he was able to catch it.
Yeah, well, it prompted Haley to say something I think she never dreamed she would say. Another lizard.
He does admit while he's out there hunting that the paranoia of Vince is actually gone, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. So he might be coming around to understanding Will's move and being okay with it.
Yeah, maybe so. So Joe talks to Nina. You are not on the outs, Nina. Liar, liar, pants on fire. And he apparently has a soft spot for the deaf community.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells her that. So I got to ask you, David, do you think that played a part, his soft spot for the deaf community? Do you think that played a part in his decision to not have her participate in the challenge? maybe he didn't want her to be hurt or embarrassed.
No.
Really? You don't?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. But I think this was possibly, though, the last chance Nina had to be a part of this tribe. Because I think Joe is the de facto leader, and like you said, he does have a soft spot for that. If you listen to some of Nina's exit interviews today, you'll hear maybe a different side of Joe. Nina's opinion of how he was towards her this whole 8 days. But I think this was another chance, and I don't think it was just Joe coddling her until she left. I think it was him giving her one more chance to say, "Look, we want you to be a part of the tribe. We're trying, and no matter what you feel, don't give in. Don't give in yet." And that's pretty bad when somebody has to tell you, "Don't give in."
Well, it happens every season.
It does. You get somebody that's just ready to go, but
yeah. So, we get Nina talking about how she used to be white collar.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting how people try to, like, now they have labeled themselves. Because Survivor labeled them, they have now labeled them as though they were cast because they were white collar, or as though they were cast because they were no collar.
Right.
It's almost like they think in their mind, "Oh, that's why they cast me."
Yeah.
No.
And see, I was kind of thinking that after 3 or 4 days, once all the effects of the game hits, the collars didn't really matter as much.
Yeah, well, guess what?
I know. Except for the difference between the tribes. But, I mean, within the tribe, there's still people that are hungry and tired and just ready to either scuffle or do something else.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're right.
All right. Anything else on the no-collar tribe?
Yeah. The best way to exclude yourself is to not include yourself. When someone offers you lizard to be a part of the group, you don't pull back and not participate.
Yeah.
Even if you're a vegetarian. That was hard. And that's going to come back at the end of the episode. Spoiler alert. Nina got voted out not because of her challenge ability. Period.
Right.
If that was the case, then Will would have been gone. But this was just another factor of Nina not participating in a group tribe thing.
Right. Yep.
Hey guys, this is Jennifer, and I just wanted to steal a moment during my favorite podcast to remind you to use D&D's Amazon link when you shop at Amazon. Not only do you get everything you need at Amazon, you're also helping D&D continue their great podcasts. So always use www.stwdd.com/Amazon when you start your shopping. Or make it even easier and just use their links on their website and the D&D Facebook group. That's all I wanted to say. Now back to more D&D.
All right. It's idol hunting time in the white collar tribe. And I don't have a song for that one.
Except for Carolyn.
Right. Carolyn isn't looking.
No, she kind of mentioned that, I'm tending the fire, So did she volunteer to tend the fire?
I have a feeling she probably did.
I think she did too. Well, it's good, Carolyn. It's probably good for another couple hours. No, I'll just make sure it's good for the next few minutes.
Well, then you could also hear Tyler playing along with that and, going, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good idea," and trying not to put any.
And turn to the others and say, "Hey, that's one less person looking for the idol."
Yeah, so, but I guarantee you Max has figured it out.
Think so?
Well, I would think so. I mean, Max isn't stupid, so I
would think that he or Shireen, would notice something in Carolyn.
Yeah, well, Shireen isn't.
You never know. Oh,
well, she was looking hard for that idol.
True. But I would imagine that they had to have sensed something different about Carolyn. I don't know. But like you're right, you wonder if Tyler has told anybody. I get the impression that he hasn't. If anybody, maybe Max, but I don't. I think Tyler, like you said, is playing close to the chest.
Right. Speaking of Shireen, I think that morning whenever she was watching the monkeys, I think what she thought was, "Oh, there's immunity idols."
Oh,
all right,
good.
Shireen's idea. Good. Let's just stop looking for it. And I wrote, nice try, Shireen. I don't want to look for it anymore, so let's just have a truce. And we don't look anymore. Besides, I know where it is. I saw it on the monkey.
We got to catch those monkeys.
And we ain't getting that. I don't know why they thought that was an idol we could get. Anyway.
No, but I salute Joaquin, for saying, I'm not stopping. Right. You've been looking for this thing more than anybody.
Yeah. It's like, I know I'm the one out.
And you're annoying because you're a woman. Because that's Joaquin.
That's not quite what he said.
No, but it's close. It's paraphrasing.
Okay. Oh, Joaquin thinks Shireen is like a mosquito, or like the mosquitoes at night. What do you call her? A something Lisa? What was that?
A leech or something? Oh, I didn't.
Leech?
I didn't hear
I
that.
thought he
Lisa
called
part.
her some kind of name, like a something Lisa or something.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe somebody will know in the chat room.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I got to ask the same question as Kathy. Did you say whack the wizard or whack the lizard a few minutes ago? Because it sounded like wizard.
Is that in the chat or something?
Yeah, it's in the chat wing.
Whack the lizard. The lizard.
Okay, the lizard. And I agree with Tina that those driftwood surfboards were a little too good to just be sitting on the beach somewhere. They were awfully nice and flat and shiny and just, not saying they were made for that, but they were some perfectly sized pieces of driftwood.
They're like, wow, I wonder why the helicopter's here and that guy with the scuba gear. Oh, wow, look at these two pieces of wood that just fell from the sky.
Just sticking in the sand. One's labeled Haley and one's labeled Jen.
Yes. Oh, look, and they gave us new bathing suits. Well, they didn't, but you know.
Yeah.
All right, blue collar. What?
Gerson says Max wouldn't be looking for the idol if he knew. I think Max would play along, especially if he and Tyler were in it together. Yeah, I agree with you. I think he would play along.
Tyler knew. Tyler knew, and he acted like he was looking for the idol. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Hey, let us know when you're talking about the chat room, because you throw me off.
Oh.
When you say stuff like, oh, I agree with Tina, and I'm like, who's Tina, and when did she say this?
Oh, she's here. They're hanging out.
Yeah, okay. They're on your poster behind you in the Marvel comic poster.
Oh, yeah? You like that?
Okay. Yeah. All right, blue collar. It's another happy morning in the blue collar tribe. Good morning, it's time to rise and shine. Good morning to you.
Was it
no,
another Mike impersonation?
That ain't what being sung at the blue collar tribe. They all wake up to Mike chopping wood, is what they all get to wake up to.
So. Yeah, Mike is questioning the blue collar work ethic since it's supposed to be the best, and this is where I'm saying, but you're not blue collar people right now. You're survivors. Right. You're in a game. Yeah. You got to give a little leeway, and of course he picks on Rodney.
Right. The guy I called Dad taught me if you work hard, good things will come to you. This tribe is not working hard. This tribe is failing in work ethic, and Rodney is the worst. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Holloway
is not in on the podcast.
Oh, man, I got disappointed during the episode because his voice started sounding normal.
It started coming back.
Which is really throwing the whole editing people off because it was normal, and then later on in the show, it was worse again. And then it was more normal, and then it was worse again.
He's getting it back for Final Trouble, so I got him picked for that. So he's got to get it back for that.
Yeah. So what does Rodney say? I'll do the work when I want to do work. Ain't nobody my daddy out here.
Rodney will work when Rodney wants to work.
That's right.
And I'm Rodney, so I'll do it when I want to do it.
That's right.
Rodney don't work unless Rodney wants to. And it ain't time for Rodney to work, so Rodney's not working.
That's right. All right, so we get a major argument between Rodney and Mike, and it's in front of everybody.
Yes.
And do you have anything to say about the argument before we go off to Ranger Dan talking to Rodney?
No. Just it was kind of frustrating, actually. Just, somebody has got to walk away. Somebody's just got to stop.
Man.
It was almost one of those last word things. Somebody's got to get everybody's got to get the last word. I'm like, just walk away.
And it will never be Mike.
No.
Mike is the kind of guy that cannot, like he'll turn around to walk away, and then every ounce of his body jerks him around and says something else. You know it's true. So Rodney and Dan go off together, and we get this part that I literally rewound 8 times. I have a little 8-second backward button on my TiVo, and every time I went back, Connie got more mad and more mad and more mad.
Man, I'm sorry. I didn't know you weren't feeling good.
Huh?
I didn't know you
I don't
weren't
care.
feeling
No, ain't nobody tells me what to do. That's why I work for myself. You hear me?
No, I hear you.
All right? I'll do when I want to do on Rodney's time. This game of person. This ain't an oil rig. This ain't an oil rig in Texas. We got to work hard. You got to work extremely hard. And if you don't work this damn hard, then you won't get booed up. No, this is a fun game to have fun with everybody.
Here it comes.
And to adjust everybody's personalities. I'm not a hick. I don't grow up in this environment. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I don't live this kind of life. Maybe he does in his $100,000 ranch that he owns because that's what Texas is worth. Houses in Mass cost $400,000 because people want to live there. Ain't nobody want to live in Texas, okay?
This guy's never been to Highland Park. $100,000 ranch? That is like impossible.
Yes.
There
That's
are
not
no
a ranch.
$100,000 ranches. There are $1 million ranches, but not $100,000 ranches. But that was funny, man. Ain't nobody want to move to Texas. And Connie goes, what? Anyway, I thought that was funny. So I tweeted that on Twitter about my wife doing that, and Rodney tweeted or replied, it was the heat of the moment, man. Gotta love Texas.
Hey, because you know God blessed Texas with his own hand. Brought down angels to the promised land.
Yeah, and if you're gonna play in Texas, you gotta have a fiddle in the band. All my exes live in Texas. Except for one or two in Tennessee. All right.
No, that's why you hang your hat in Tennessee.
Well, whatever. Then Rodney came into camp. And if they hadn't been there, I could see Rodney going, like, holding this big chunk of wood. Rodney walks into camp, and no one's there, and he goes, oh, crud.
Nobody's here to see me.
Right. He walked in there like, stop talking and watch me. But they were having a huge argument when he did that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Mike and Lindsay, because I like when Lindsay said that blue collar people critique other people's work ethics because our work ethic is usually the best. And then she finishes, at the end of the day, I know on this tribe that I have the best work ethic.
Yes.
Because she's right. She's blue collar, so she knows hers is the best.
Right. Well, yeah, I think she was being a little funny there.
Yeah.
Having fun with the cameraman. But meanwhile, Mike is arguing with Lindsay. What is it with all this why isn't anyone saying thank you stuff? Why is everybody worried about people saying thank you to them?
I think this is what Rodney was tweeting about. Heat of the moment, tired, frustrated, hungry, and I don't know. But at some point, you got to walk away. It's going to wear you out to keep having these conversations.
Yeah. All right, well, I don't want to hash this out, but Mike keeps saying something that is really not smart to say. Nay, shall I say stupid to say. Mm-hmm. All right? Like I said, if by me stepping up and saying something means I'm the first to go, then send me home. Stop saying that, Mike. If you're listening right now, go back in time and stop saying that.
It worked for Nina, so... We don't want it to work for Mike.
I mean, it's almost like, okay, I don't know. It's like he's trying to throw himself on the sword, but he's making everybody so mad. They don't, okay, here's the sword. You know what I mean?
By the way,
you must have been distracted.
Well, I mispronounced Hassan's name, and it's because it's so far away I couldn't read it without my glasses, so he thanked me for butchering his name. But he did say in the chat room that... your mic impression is the best.
Oh, my mic impressions are the best?
Is the best. Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes. Of course. That was perfect. Oh, wait. Hold on. The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. There you go. The stars are bright. No, the stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas. All right. I'm going to have so many alerts on my YouTube page. Third-party content alerts all over the place.
You know what's funny? We are dragging this out, and this was not really an episode that had a lot to it.
In fact, I was going to play
I'm already on
clips,
the last page.
And I'm not going to play them. But go on CBS. Actually, go on the CBS Survivor YouTube page and watch the clip of Dan and he talks about the morning. It's a really good clip. And then Kelly, a really good clip from Kelly about how she's handling all of this and how she's watching it.
Why don't you want to play them? This is the point to play them.
So you don't mind me playing them? I mean, they're like a minute and a half each.
If you like them, then I want to hear them.
All right, here is Dan explaining.
So we had a taxing morning in the tribe. Mike is definitely reaching his wit's end with Rodney, who is not even coming close to pulling his fair share of his weight. He just isn't, you know. I know he thinks he is, and I know he's got a good heart. I know he does, but it just gets a little difficult. The biggest problem is not everybody else. Mike is definitely a part of the problem. Mike he's a roughneck, man. He's all go, no quit. Well, that's how he's treating, life out here. And not everybody goes that road, And it came to an ugly head, a really ugly head. Tempers got hot. People's names got thrown under the bus. And the only thing at this point that we can hope for is that a lot of times if you have intelligent people, you have a blowout like this, if you can listen to what the other person said, if you can't, not just listen, but hear, and you can take it in, you can take it as constructive criticism, and you can move on.
See, I think that's good, wise comments on Dan's part.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's a bad argument when God's beard gets brought into it.
I didn't know God had a beard.
I didn't know either.
And not one that lights fires either.
All right, let's go on to Kelly and her thoughts on this.
This morning, I think our tribe just woke up in a bad mood. Everyone is tired, pissed off, getting on each other's nerves. You have Dan, who's a hot mess. You have Rodney, who's the mouth. You have Lindsay, who just is a brat. You know what I mean? She bosses everyone around camp. She's a little snotty. So I think it all just finally exploded at camp this morning. So that was good for me. I love to see it. Let it go. Woo! Have fun, guys. I sit back and watch it go. It's awesome. They don't see the big picture. We're here for $1 million. Get along, guys. Come on. It's only like 30 more days, but they're at it nonstop. So I like it. I like to see it. Mike's getting a little bossy around camp. Mike wants it on Mike's time. He wants to do everything real, bright and early. Let's get at the wood right now and let's do that. And he is getting a little bossy. But I'm not going to tell Mike to back off. He's digging his own grave. You know what I mean? If you don't see it, I'm not out here to tell you how to act. Everyone's going to act how they are, so I don't care. Whatever. It's better them than me. I don't care. Whatever you guys want to do. But if blue collar does not start getting along and acting like adults, then yes, we will fall apart and we will break apart when we get separated. We won't stick together. Someone will go somewhere else because he's pissed, and someone will build another alliance. Everyone will build different alliances because they hate each other, which we can't do at this point. We have to stick together. So hopefully they'll realize that the next day or two it's important.
See, a lot of good insight.
It is coming from Kelly, who's sitting back and watching and not getting in, like you said, getting in the crossfire.
Right. So go ahead.
I was going to say, there's a good comment from Bobby Kelly in our chat wing. He says, the blue collar tribe is a lot like the Tandang tribe. They don't lose challenges, get in a bunch of fights, and nobody with a chance of winning. And it's funny he mentioned that because I was thinking about that today. I'm like, I like 3 tribe seasons, but this was really kind of an off episode in the fact that we didn't get a lot of strategy because it wasn't needed, because the person gone just wasn't fitting in. But at the same time, he's got a good point because he's right. I said preseason that I thought blue collar would do well as a tribe. But in a 3-tribe situation, if one tribe does well, they have a bad chance of being picked off after a merge or a shuffle because they're going to be seen as the dominant people. Nobody from theirs had to suffer. Nobody from theirs had to vote anybody off. So if they get split up in a bad way, I could see the white collar going to the no collars and saying, hey, we're not at full strength. You're not at full strength. We need to knock off these blue collars. So it could actually turn, instead of being blue and no collar against white collar like it seemed at the beginning, it could turn into white collar and no collar against blue collar. So, I mean, and they've never had to go to tribal. So they've never had to make a decision. They've never been forced to bond or make their draw a line in the sand. They've never had to do that. So there's still 6 people. And I think we were talking to Steve and Andy about this today. And we haven't seen 3 tight necessarily or 4 tight. We've seen 2 tight, 2 talking, 1 here, 1 there. It's just we haven't really seen any real alliances yet in blue collar, and that could hurt them if they're not sound going into a swap.
Well, they're not sound.
They don't appear to be sound. You're right.
White collar and no collar are going to have a huge delusion if they think blue collar's rocking it right now. They're not.
Right. Well, they don't know that though.
Right.
Yeah.
But Kelly's right. We're going to go to a swap and we're going to be just like, boom, boom. They're going to be free game, go wherever they want.
Right.
So I don't think there'll be hardly any blue collar loyalty at all. You'll have Lindsay and Sierra together. You'll have Mike and Dan together. And Kelly can choose wherever she wants, and Rodney will kind of be the out.
Right.
But did you notice that Kelly says Dan's, I don't remember what she said about him now. Do you remember what she said about him?
Mm-mm. That was the first time I'd heard that clip.
She said something about Dan. She said something about Rodney being a hothead. She said something about Mike. She said something about Lindsay bossing everybody around. Nothing about Sierra.
Nope.
So Sierra's not making waves either. Or when she is, they're really small waves behind the Lindsay wave.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, because she's nodding. She's usually sitting with Lindsay or talking to Lindsay and nodding and confirming what she says. What could be unfortunate for this could be like Kelly's got this game where she's working with certain people. She's got relationships. All of a sudden she goes into a swap and she's on her own. And all of a sudden she's picked off just because of the swap.
Yeah, but see, I think Kelly's in a position where she could go with whomever she wants from the blue collar wherever they go on a swap because she's not making any waves and she's probably being kind to all of them. So whatever tribe she ends up on after the swap, I have a feeling that she and those fellow blue collars she'll be able to mess with any of them.
That's what I'm saying. If she gets put in a situation like Sarah did, where Sarah's outnumbered, she goes from the dominant Brawn tribe to being outnumbered by people like Beauty and Brains, she'll be in trouble. She could be in trouble.
Right.
That would be unfortunate is what I'm saying.
Right. All right, let's get to that reward immunity challenge that I liked a lot. Mm-hmm. Before we get that, how about did you read anything into people's reactions to Vince being gone?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of shock.
Like maybe any one particular that you might have?
No, I remember Lindsay was shocked. Sierra seemed shocked. Max got blurred. And for what he said.
Max got blurred. Little conspiracy hat on. Here, let me put my little conspiracy theory hat on. Could it be that Max and Vince had a little something going on before the season? And Max is upset that Vince is gone because they had a little partnership going on. Okay, hat's coming off.
No idea.
Well, have fun with it. Come on.
I mean, they showed him getting upset.
All right, there you go. That's all I need, man.
Hey, when you got half the castaways from California, you never know what can happen.
Okay, so the other option is Max was genuinely surprised.
Well, I would have been too to take out a strong player like that.
Which is probably what it is. You're so afraid to get Max upset that you won't go out on a limb.
I'm not a journalist. I'm not going to write what I think. I'm going to talk about what I know, and I don't know anything.
Well, oh, really? We're going to talk about what we know because we know everything that's happening on this show
from the 44 minutes that we're seeing every week. Yes.
Yeah, and so you're just not going to say anything else the whole rest of the podcast because you know nothing because we know nothing other than what we extrapolate from the edit.
I don't know what you're fishing for, but there's nothing swimming over here. So
no, I'm just saying you don't only talk about what you know.
No, I make guesses, but I have nothing to base that guess on.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so everybody in California could have a pregame alliance.
There you go. You heard it from David's own lips. All right, let's move on. A longer version of a previously used and, I think, good challenge. Although I wish they had to cross paths with the buckets.
Oh, yeah, that would have been neat.
That would have been really dangerous and fun to watch. So,
wonder how hard it would have been with 3 though versus 2. Because with 2, it's pretty simple. With 3, it would have been odd.
Well, I tell you what, I was a little concerned about the quality of the reward until Probst said, massive comfort. And then I thought, oh, okay, this is a good reward because it's massive.
Oh, let me, yes, it was a massive reward, yes. Let's see. Bobby Kelly said, many people pregame said they wanted to play with Vince, a.k.a. Feather Guy, so it surprised a bunch of the others. That's a good point.
You're in trouble, by the way, but I'm not going to tell you why. All right. What did you say? I was reading something. I'm sorry. It's horrible, horrible co-hosting. I apologize greatly for doing what you and I do to each other all the time, but we usually cover it up well. All right. I have no idea what David said, but inside joke here, David, if you can, if you pay attention long enough here, inside joke. Dan, every time he wears his shirt on his head, looks like Buddy Wright playing Pontius Pilate.
Who won't be playing Pontius Pilate this year for the first time in a long time.
No, but I mean,
I understand. Yes,
or he looks like the Pharisees in your Easter production.
Yes,
I promise you, Dan looks like the Pharisees in the Easter productions at Deep Creek Baptist Church.
Yes.
Go look it up.
Yes.
He does every time I see it. I just want him to go, who is this Christ? And why is he healing on the Sabbath? Doesn't he know that's against our religious laws? Anyway. All right. So what of the no-collar strategy? I've been waiting to put this up because Janice, one of our patrons, Janice, tweeted this on Twitter. And she says, how could Nina really hear anything during the challenge with all the background noise? She probably couldn't, but my point earlier was Joe not having her play, I don't think was in relation to her not being able to hear very well. Mm-hmm. Did you?
That could have played a part in barking out orders or trying to communicate because she won't hear very well in a group. So with the other groups being so loud, I can see that to some degree.
But he said, I think he said at Tribal Council that he did it because he didn't want her to fall, that her stumbling. And I think they have shown us enough times of her stumbling in challenges to kind of set us up for that.
You mean like every obstacle in the very first challenge in the first episode where she fell like every time? Yeah, I could see Nina on the side of the bucket falling through the stair thing or the space thing and pulling down one side of the bucket, or someone tripping over her and the bucket falling. I'm sorry, but I could certainly see that, and that's why I think he didn't want her on part of the bucket.
Right. So there you go. But in defense of Joe, not in defense of Joe, in defense of Probst saying it was a bad idea, let her make that mistake and let her fall and then say, okay, let's try something different. Because it obviously did not work, what you tried.
Right.
And if she's going to fall and cause you problems, it'll be at the beginning anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true. The Andy Westover had a comment in our chat when he said, in the immunity challenge, do you think anyone considered taking off extra clothes to plug some of the holes?
Ooh.
That was his first thought when he saw the challenge. So, like, maybe take your shirt off and lay it on one side of the bucket.
Right.
Just on the inside. That way the water sits on there.
That would have been, you know what? And if Probst didn't specifically say you couldn't do it, then why not?
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, I don't want to put my fingers in holes because what's going to happen is that bucket's going to drop or something. You're going to break your finger. I put my hands on the outside. My thumb is not going in.
I know the bucket would move and reshift and everything when they were carrying it, but it was funny to watch them carrying it tilted this way, and they were plugging these holes.
Yeah,
as the water's coming out this side.
That was great. All right. Well, hey, if you're going to have somebody sit out, let it be Lindsay because that's why we have cheerleaders at basketball games. That's not why you have them at football games because no one can hear them. But it's why you have them at basketball games and stuff. It's because it cheers the team on. And her being on the sideline, that's an encouragement, you know? Right. And it probably pumped them up to go even faster and even harder.
So would you have considered Joe's plan and asked Nina to sit out or move along or get to the other side? Would you?
No, I would have had her try it first. And then if I was thinking what Joe was thinking, then I would have thought, I would have carried it a little bit further and thought, okay, but let's try it with her first because it'll be better if it doesn't happen. And then if it does happen, then I can say, okay, look, if you have trouble and you stumble, then we'll go ahead and let you run ahead.
Yeah.
And help later on.
Yeah, I would have said put her in the back. And if she falls, then we're still moving. We're not tripping over her or anything. But
we can leave her behind with a bloody nose.
Yes. But
we got to be nice. Nina bought one of our shirts. We got to be nice.
Yeah, can you move when we come back with the bucket? Or are you still going to be there? So, but you're right. I mean, Joe was really taking on a risk by coming out and making this plan and saying it was his. Because they obviously fell and they could have turned on him. Yeah. They weren't going to, of course. They all love Joe, but you know.
All right, so we get Probst at the beginning. Just interesting. This will really be an awesome thing if it works. And I was thinking, what? What is awesome about it?
Yeah.
And then finally he starts going, this is stupid.
But you guys don't see idiots.
It yet. Okay, let's get to the end because white collar and blue collar were so close. And now it becomes a mind game. How long do you stay under the water? Long enough so you get enough water, but not longer than the other tribe.
Right.
And blue collar won.
Right.
Blue collar made the split decision more quickly than the white collar did, and that's the gap that they won by.
Yep.
So way to go, blue collar.
That's right. Second.
And it made for an exciting ending.
It did. It seemed to be right down to the seconds.
Yep. Meanwhile, red collar's like, hey, we're a quarter of the way.
Wow, you guys are like almost done?
That's right. So after everybody leaves and it's just Probst and no collar. Hey Joe, what in the world were you thinking?
I mean, right there on the spot. Doesn't even let him believe it. Before y'all go back and decide who to vote out, tell me what in the world you were thinking.
What in the world, Joe? Anyway. And of course we get a Will confessional. That was hard.
Yep. But Nina's got to go. She's dead.
I mean, that was not easy. That was hard. But, yeah, Nina's got to go.
Yeah, we saw Will when you were bent over, unable to hold the bucket up.
Yeah. All right, so they go back to camp. And was that not the weirdest, like you were watching a scary movie, kind of weird chanting going on in the... Oh, I
don't remember.
You didn't hear all that?
No, to me, it was kind of done deal.
No. I'm talking about I'm talking about when they're walking up to camp. The soundtrack had these weird voices, like a scary movie.
Oh, I thought that was when they were walking to tribal. No, I didn't notice it when they were walking up to camp. I didn't.
Well, that's when it was. So, all right, go ahead.
Nope.
Anything you want to say about them back at camp?
I don't know if I wrote anything down for that.
Oh, well, I did. Joe apologizes to Nina.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, that's why you made that call. Dadgummit, I should have went with my gut. And I should have just said, yeah, I could plug some holes. But I didn't. That's my Nina impression. Really bad.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then Will trying to make sure he stays safe, right?
Yeah.
Hey, man, we made a decision as a team, and I backed you up. We made a decision as a team. It's okay.
We're a
team.
I
backed you up.
We're a team. We're a team.
We're a team. Don't vote me out. I mean, we're a team. Vote out Nina. In fact, that's kind of what happened. We're a team. You don't mind voting out Nina, do you? That's pretty much what happened.
I was thinking when Nina was asking Will, how do you think the vote's going to go? What is he supposed to say? He's not a very good liar. Don't waste your time with the other candidate. Go see the three people that are going to decide what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I actually felt bad for Will. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah. All right, let's go to tribal council. A lot of trust talk. I wrote yada, yada, yada. It's the same stuff. Who you going to trust? Who you going to not trust?
Yeah, I wrote, Joe said that Nina is misunderstanding us as much as she feels she's misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bad communication.
Right.
But I did like that Nina started fighting. Fighting for her life. She said, you guys would be crazy to keep Will. You haven't given me a chance to show what I can do. And that's what I'm thinking. It's not about the challenges. It sounds like from everything they're saying, Jen says you've been emotionally weak, and that concerns me. You know, if you're Debbie Downer around camp, you know, the camp is 94% 5% of the time they're out there. It seems like 90% of the time.
Right.
And if you, I mean, true, she hasn't been given a chance to prove herself in challenges, but at the same time, we have to live on that beach for like 23 hours a day. Maybe 1 hour we're doing a challenge. Otherwise, we're on the beach all day. And if you're Miss Negative or you're just not cooperating, you're not being part of the group, then you're not contributing to the good vibes.
Right. And this is where you want me to play Haley's clip? This is where she said it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, like, she literally said it after.
It's the last thing she says. She
said it right after Jen said what you just said Jen said.
Well, no, she says the latter part, because then she says, talked about the flow of the tribe, and Nina just doesn't have it. And Probst looks right at Nina and says, but you are no collar. You're trying to prove you're no collar. You're fighting to be no collar, and you look on Nina's face is like, no, I'm not. I've been a white collar for a long time, and all of a sudden, here recently, I guess you could call me a no collar. So I don't know, fighting. And then Haley comes up with what I thought was the best part of the episode.
You know, in real life, you may never have to be the type of person that would go out and eat a lizard, and you may not have to be a no-collar person when you go back home. But if you want to stay in this game and you want to play with this tribe, you're going to have to make adjustments. And you're going to have to be more no-collar if you want to fit in. And I think that's all we're saying. Like, I don't have an agenda to change you as a human being, but if you want to play this game, you got to be a player.
So, leave everything at home about yourself. Come here planning to play the game and be whoever you need to be to fit in, get along, and survive.
Yeah. That was your favorite part of the episode.
That was I heard that. I was like, preach it. You're preaching to the castaways now. So that's what you got to do.
Preach it, sister.
Go. I need a sweet tea.
I need a sweet tea. All right. It's time to vote. And, were you torn, or did you pretty much think it was Nina going home?
Nah, I figured it had to be Nina. To me,
I was torn.
Oh, really? Between the two?
No, I didn't want Nina to go home.
Why? She's on my tribe.
Shut up and listen.
Let's be real.
I didn't want Nina to go home because she's on your tribe. Wait, yes. Shut up. Hold on. I didn't want Nina to go home, but I wanted her to go home because she's on your tribe. And if Will went home, he's on my tribe, and I was going to lose 3 people. And Team Destroyers would have been down 3 people. So I was torn because I didn't want her to leave the game, but I wanted her to leave because Team Cholera, the world's worst team name in the history of Survivor fantasy games, or Survivor pools, needed... Anyway, I was glad she went home for that reason.
You know what? We should have made a bet that if I win this season, you have to use Team Cholera as your team name next season.
Why? That doesn't even make sense. That's a stupid bet.
It's your punishment. No, I haven't found anyone in this season, even Joaquin. I'm not looking forward to anyone leaving. You know, I've like everybody so far. I'm interested so far in everyone that's left. But at the same time, to me, it was down to, harmony, camp harmony. And I just didn't think Nina was part of that. And I guess Will is. Will's saying the right things at camp. He's not making the right moves and challenges, but he's saying the right things at camp, and that's what was going to keep him happy.
Yep. All right, so do you want to explain to me your thoughts on why Haley voted for Will? Haley and Nina voted for Will, right. And Will, Joe, and Jen voted for Nina. So why did Haley not vote with Joe and Jen? Anybody in the chat room want to throw their 2 cents on that? Or
was that another
hashtag STWDD on Twitter. Do what?
Was that another? I would say it was a split vote, but that wouldn't be the case because Nina wouldn't have been part of the split vote. They would have been doing that in case those 2 voted against one of them and played an idol.
Yeah, I'm just trying to...
I don't know. No idea.
But Haley and Nina voted for Will, and Will, Joe, and Jen. Of course, where Will and Nina are going to vote.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering why Joe and Jen and Haley split their vote. So maybe someone will tell us what they think.
Yeah.
So next time on, 2-hour episode,
mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if, in the TV guide, is it listed as 2 episodes or is it listed as 1 episode?
There's 2 separate titles next week.
Right. By the way, Mike Holloway, he didn't hashtag. Mike, you got a hashtag, or I won't. I mean, lucky I saw it, but he says, I admire anyone who plays the game and doesn't quit. Nina is such a special and strong woman. And then he writes some stupid hashtag, Team Cholera or something.
Our first loss. Nope, she didn't quit. I agree. I was proud of her for not quitting. And from the sound of her interview, she wasn't going to quit. She felt like she was doing fine. In fact, Kelly sounds like she just showed up. She doesn't sound like she's stressed or anything.
Right.
Nina said she was fine. It was just a matter of fitting in with this group. And I kind of felt for her in the sense that she probably would have fit better on white collar, than blue collar. So
I think she absolutely would have.
Yeah.
So, all right. It's time for some listener feedback, my friend.
Well, what about the next time on? We get a little taste of Rodney and Lindsay having a little conversation.
Yeah.
And the first really blow up we had was kind of Lindsay and Dan. And then this week we kind of had Lindsay and Mike. And next week we get Lindsay and Rodney. There's a common theme running through those three little altercations.
And Kelly said in that confessional that was not on the show, but on YouTube and CBS, that Lindsay runs around camp telling everybody what to do.
Interesting.
All right. Our first feedback is from Wendy Zell in South Dakota. Here we go.
Hi there, it's Wendy from South Dakota. Just wanted to call in with a little bit of feedback. I wanted to clarify something that I had said on my last feedback. I have nothing against people that have money. I like money myself. The problem that I have with the white collar tribe is their sense of entitlement, or that they feel like they're better than other people. That's the part that I was struggling with. But it seems that they are all kind of bat poop crazy. They're supposed to be in charge of people in the real world, and they've all kind of lost it out there. I shouldn't say all. Carolyn seems to be handling herself well, and the football player guy, the guy whose name starts with J that I can't pronounce, is handling it very poorly, the way he's kind of on the outside of the tribe. Instead of trying to ingratiate himself, just that conversation that he had with Shireen was a terrible conversation to have. When you're on the outside, that's the very last thing you ever want to do. Shireen is just plain goofy as far as I know, and the whole nakedness thing with her and Max, I'm not a big fan of that. I just don't see the point, but that's my personal opinion. The blue collar tribe, I am completely shocked at the extent of them being dysfunctional. I don't really see anybody that likes anybody in that tribe. When Mike was having his argument with the other guy, I'm sorry, I can't remember anybody's names. Nobody spoke up really in defense of the other guy, so obviously there's something going on there that the other people don't like either, and we get a little glimpse of that in next week's preview. But and Dan, just inappropriate comments. I mean, the comment about the other guy's mom was just not acceptable. They're all so dysfunctional. The two younger gals seem to get along the best, but they seem to power through in competitions, which right now is the most important thing. But I wonder how is that going to affect them down the line if they're such a splintered group. When a merge comes or a shakeup comes, they have no allegiance to each other, which is unfortunate, I think. The no-collar tribe, I feel like they really tried to help with Nina. I feel like they tried to include her, but she's kind of got a chip on her shoulder about her stigma, which, yeah, she has a hearing loss issue. I feel like they're trying their hardest to work around it, but she keeps bringing it up. I think that's unfortunate because I think she may have been the one to stay instead of Will if she wouldn't have kept banging that same drum. Will made a really bad response when someone asks you if you trust them, you say yes whether you trust them or not. That's however you feel, you just keep that to yourself. And it just gave them more cause to distrust him, especially after what happened at Tribal last week. So I just want to thank you, Dwaine and David, for the time that you take to do this podcast. I really enjoy the podcast, and I enjoy listening to everyone else's feedback. Y'all take care. Bye.
All right. Thank you so very much, Wendy Zell.
She brought up a good point that I even wrote down and forgot to mention, that Will committed a survivor sin.
Yes, he did.
When Haley asked him, "Did you trust us?" And Will said, "I don't know who to trust. As in, I'm just playing by myself.
Right.
So if you want to take me out next. But no, I think about when Bill Murray told, who was it, Harold Ramis, when the Ghostbuster, when the demon asked, "Are you a god?" Or Dan Aykroyd, he said no. And she blew them off the building. And Bill Murray goes, "The next time somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes." I'm like, "Oh, Will, you are totally handling this wrong."
Right.
So, but he's still there. He's still hanging on.
By the way, hang around at the end of the show. I have a special surprise for David.
Yes. Just to go back, since our chat wing is very busy tonight, okay. Bobby Kelly brought up that I'm pretty sure they still believe Nina had an idol and wanted to make sure it wouldn't hurt them if she had one. So, because I think Vince was planting seeds with the young kids about Nina having plans or Nina having an idol and trying to pit her against them to make sure she went out before he did. Even Nina talks about that in one of her exit interviews, the one with Dalton.
All right. So. All right. All right. Well, David's going to read Andy Westover, who also keeps track of our Facebook group Survivor Challenge that's being done on our Facebook group. From, where's he from? From Missouri. So, David, take it away.
I was ultimately pleased with the outcome of episode 3, even if it was fairly predictable prior to the episode. Surprisingly, the way things played out in the episode, and with all of the warm fuzzies at Tribal Council. I thought, as they wanted me to think, that they might just give Nina another chance. Alas, it was a red herring, and Nina is no more. Since there was not a whole lot of obviously controversial decision-making or anything like that on this episode, I just wanted to share a few my random thoughts on this episode. Number 1, Nina's sad lack of social game was an unfortunate disservice to future Survivor players with disabilities. Prior to the season, everyone's fear that with Nina was that all she would talk about is her hearing problems, cochlear implants, etc., much like Jacqueline's no uterus thing last season. From Jen's comments at Tribal, it would appear that this fear came to fruition. In so doing, Nina unfortunately fell to the survivor disability stereotype, but also a major social game faux pas, which was making everything all about her. She was not included in the skinny dipping. She was not being included. She did not participate in the challenge. She needed to be made more comfortable by them. Everything came down to her not being treated kindly or fairly. Even though her frustrations appeared legitimate in the game, they don't matter, and she did a major disservice to herself by continuing to bring them up, thus ostracizing herself further from the tribe. Rather than trying to improve things herself, the easiest way for her to do this would have been to just be quiet. If you don't have anything nice to say nothing. My grandmother used to say, this is me, that if you don't have anything nice to say, just make sure they're out of the room. So,
that's funny.
Even in Tribal Council, she continued to gripe about Joe not letting her participate in the challenge. Had she changed her focus to Will's obvious struggles, it might have changed her fate. However, the sob story continued, and I think ultimately the tribe had had enough and voted her out. This again should be a lesson to all future players, but especially to those who enter the game with some form of disability or are otherwise seen as outsiders. If you make everything about you, you're going to find yourself on the outside of the tribe and the outside of the vote. In the game, you do not deserve extra attention, kindness, or accommodations of any type. You have to earn or take it for yourself. See, oddly enough, everything that they were talking about that Nina was saying she was hoping for is something you would expect on a team or in a company or it's just a group setting, but not in Survivor.
Yeah.
Point number 2. I think blue collar is going to be crushed. I'm certainly not the first person to postulate on this, but I think the members of the blue collar tribe are gearing up to be taken down hard. Despite their strong challenge play, they are a clearly and hostilely divided tribe with little likelihood of making amends when the tribe swap comes about. I think we've seen from season to season that there is a certain strength and unifying force that comes from going to tribal council, and especially more than one. Like the One Ring being forged in the depths of Mount Doom, relationships and loyalties are tried and tested in difficult circumstances. Having not endured the proverbial refiner's fire, the blue collar's tribe's clear fractures will be revealed. The remnants of the other tribe will unify against the majority, and they will be obliterated. I think the blue collar tribe's only real collective hope would be if the apparently strong twosomes remain united on their new tribes, i.e. Dan Mike and Lindsay Rodney. I think Kelly and Sierra are a little more pliable and won't make it a big thing. However, if those groups are flip-flopped, i.e. Dan and Lindsay and Mike and Rodney, or some other variation, there will be fireworks, as none of them can apparently control their mouths. I'm excited to see where the 2-hour episode takes us next week. Safe money would be on Will going home, then a tribe swap. However, with the possibility of a medevac alluded to in the preview, anything could happen. We shall see. Andy Westover from Cameron, Missouri.
All right. Way to go. Oh, he deserves an applause. All right. Next we have Will, the giant ninja. All right. So here we go. What's up, guys? It's Will from Wonder Lake again, a.k.a. the giant ninja. That was a strange episode of Survivor last night, huh? Lots of interpersonal drama, which is my least favorite aspect of the show. Only one challenge with almost no mental aspect to it, and hardly any strategy talk at all. Do we get rid of this person who's bad in the challenges and we don't like, or that person who's bad in the challenges and we don't like? Oh well, every season has 1 or 2 duds. I just hope that the swap next week makes things more interesting again. Thoughts on the episode? Dear Shireen, yes, monkeys procreate. It happens, and it might even be interesting. But you need to be better at reading your tribe mates. You were driving a wedge between you and the rest of the group. You're in such a good spot. Don't blow it, please. Dear Kelly, who are you, and what are you doing on my television? This is episode 3. I'm not used to being introduced to new characters. By the way, are there any other females on your tribe? Dear Nina, don't give up before the game is over. Honestly, if you'd have shown fight from the moment you got back to camp, I think the women might have kept you over other Will. I forget that Will calls Will other Will. Mm-hmm. So, I get what you were trying to do, make the last few days you had as pleasant as possible. But the way to do that is to make nice. Say, okay, I'm on the outside, but I'm here now and we've got challenges to win. Keep a smile on your face and get along with people. Dear Joaquin, you're doing exactly what you need to be doing right now. Last week, Naked Max and Naked Shireen started alienating people. This week, you shared your clue with Tyler. You might just wedge yourself in there. Good for you, brother. Way to turn things around. Dear Haley, don't tell me that something is your third most favorite thing, unless you tell me the first 2. That's just annoying. By the way, you're my third most favorite member of the no-collar tribe. Dear Mike, no doubt being tired and hungry all the time is getting to you. I can tell you're smarter than you're playing. But man, don't keep telling people, if that gets me voted out, that gets me voted out. That's just reinforcing to everyone that voting you out is an option. Advertising works, man. Otherwise, why would companies spend as much money as they do to just bring you a TV show? Oh, I'm sorry. Otherwise, why would companies spend as much money as they do just to, quote-unquote, bring you a TV show? The mere mention of a company's name increases the chances that a customer will spend money there. So stop mentioning your name and votes, or you'll be getting them. Dear Danimal, don't tell someone his mother's a bore. That's what you said, right? It was bleeped out, so I couldn't be sure. It won't get you anywhere. Obviously, you were trying to be buddies with Rodney, and buddies rip on each other. But some folks take comments about their mothers very seriously, which they shouldn't, in my opinion, because the comment wasn't really about his mother at all. You've never met his mother. You don't know a thing about her. The comment was only about ribbing Rodney. But find another way to rib him. Dude might as well have been an extra on Jersey Shore. I'm sure you could have come up with something else. Maybe ask him why the tribe couldn't have used some of his hair grease to get the fire started quicker. Dear Lindsay, regardless of the morality of the situation, challenging someone about their faith by asking whether, quote, their God, unquote, came down to tend the fire is terrible survivor play. Let me clue you into something. The better you get along with people, the better your chances of winning. Period. End of story. I guarantee you that you offended at least 2 of your tribe members, maybe more. I know you were mad at Mike, but don't say things that alienate people, especially when there's zero upside to saying them. Be smarter than that. Dear Joe, you are playing 2/3 of a great game. You get along with people, and you're great in challenges, but your strategic acumen is lacking. Last week, you split the votes without having 4 reliable alliance mates. This week, you decided not to utilize every available tribe member to plug holes in the bucket. Both decisions were understandable to a point, but still poor. You need to stop making strategic decisions. At least stop making bold ones. Keep Jen and Haley close. Go into the swap 3 strong and team up with a strategic white-collar player like Max or Shireen. Trust me on this. Dear Otherwill, your buffer is gone. I was with you last week voting out Vince. It was a bold move, but I understood the motivation. Do yourself a favor. Don't let your tribe lose immunity again, or you're gone. Swap time next week. This is one of the things I love about 3 tribe seasons. Starting with tribes of 6, folks have to play hard from the get-go, and weak players are often on the outside. And now we'll be down to 2 tribes of 7. The game gets bigger, and it'll get bigger again at the merge. It's a different feel, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. Still pulling for Max and Danimal. Can't wait to talk about Die Hard next week. Die Hard! Get your reviews and questions in. Hope everyone downloads the podcast and listens. Later, peeps. Will at the Giant Ninja. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, if you all want to include your Twitter handle, feel free. We will post it for you.
Yes. All right. Our very last feedback for tonight, and then David's special surprise, woohoo, is Tina from, well, she happens to be in Uganda right now. So here we go.
Well. I sure am happy to see that the blue-collar team is a mess. With all the preview chatter about the blue-collars being the country's favorites, hard workers, good salt-of-the-earth people, I, for one, am happy to see them as lazy, arguing fools. We give blue-collar too much love and white-collar and no-collar no love. I always felt during the previous shows that the bias in favor of the blue-collars would be shot down. When it comes down to it, they are no better than the white-collars and the no-collars. They can't even get it together to gather wood, and Rodney is feeling a little faint. Faint. That sure sounds like a weakling white-collar guy. And the amount of time they spent arguing about gathering wood was hilarious. On this episode, at least they did not appear to be hard-working salt-of-the-earth people, more like hard-at-work arguing people. That's it from your traveling friend Tina, writing in Uganda.
In Uganda. Thank you very much, Tina. That is our feedback for tonight's show. Again, wonderful feedback, and thank you for keeping it manageable. Very nice. So our D&D fantasy points, Shayna will have those into us probably tomorrow, and we will post them on our actual webpage. So be looking for that. And it's always one of the scrolling featured articles when you're at our website, stwdd.com. It's the one that says Fantasy Draft. All right. And then also, there's no Miko's challenge tonight because Miko didn't get us a challenge, but we knew that might happen. So in the spirit of Miko's challenge, I thought I would ask David a few questions and see how well he does on Dwaine's challenge. All right? Are you ready, David?
Is this my surprise?
Yes.
Oh, joy.
I have a quiz for you, David.
Okay.
If you get any of these right, I will be amazed.
Okay.
All right.
Is it
and
about
no
Survivor?
help from Chatwing.
Is it about Survivor?
No help from Chatwing.
Yes, help from Chatwing.
No help from Chatwing.
Is it about Survivor?
Yes. What color is Shireen's bathing suit bottom? What color is Shireen's bathing suit bottom?
I'm going to say dark gray, like slate.
No, it is either a coral or watermelon. Whichever one would have been a correct answer.
Okay.
All right. Number 2. What is the third animal to get a close-up in the episode? The third animal to get a close-up or a special, camera just on the animal.
I tried to get a
few episode.
Few memory shots of animals in case we get those questions. I'm going to guess the sloth that was hanging in the tree.
It was the anteater.
I almost said the anteater, and I couldn't remember if that came before or after the sloth. Because the anteater was climbing up the branch.
Yeah. Do you know what the first animal was?
Was it the monkeys?
It was a snake. Second animal was the monkey loves. Third. How many tassels can be seen on Haley's bathing suit top during her confessional?
Is each strand a tassel or are there...
Yes, each strand. How many tassels can be seen on Haley's bathing suit top during her confessional? Connie died laughing when I paused the TV and went up and counted.
I'm waiting for the chat Wayne to come up and tell me the answer to this.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
I'll say 18.
45 tassels.
45 tassels. You wait till next week when I have a special surprise for you.
No, because no. Hey, you can't steal my ideas.
Sure I can. The Beach Boys stole a song. I can steal your ideas.
Oh, that's true. How many words, are you listening?
No.
How many words did Max say during this episode?
Let's see.
How many words did Max say during this episode, David? Well, you're doing horribly,
I'm trying
David.
to remember if you said any at all.
You haven't gotten any of these right.
I'm going to say 0.
The answer is 23. 23.
You realize I'm not losing any Miko points for this, and you're not gaining any Miko points for this.
I was talking to Miko today, and he said since he didn't have time to do it, I could give you a quiz, and I get a point for everyone you get wrong. All right, here we go. What color Survivor hat did Probst wear at the challenge? What color Survivor hat did Probst wear at the challenge?
I'm going to say blue.
It was orange and white.
Almost said orange.
Yeah, but guess what? You didn't. So now you are 0 for 4.
You've only asked 4 questions?
0 for 5. You're 0
I was
for
say,
5.
There's been a lot of questions.
All right, here's a 3-parter. Okay? You don't get a third credit if you get one right. You have to get all 3 parts correct. All right? In order to get credit for this answer. All right?
Mm-hmm.
First part. What scripture reference is on Mike's back?
Psalms 121.
Psalm, not Psalms.
Psalm 121.
Psalm 121. That is correct. That is part 1 correct. How many verses does Psalm 121 have? Oh, you're counting them? Really? In your head?
I read it today. I looked at it today, but I didn't see the numbers. I'm going to say 8.
8 is correct, David.
Because it was 4 stanzas, and I think there was 2 in each one.
All right, here we go. Can you quote verses 1 and 2?
No, it's I look up into the mountains, and I look for you who gives me
Come
hope.
on, man. Come on. You can do it, David.
No,
I've been
I can't.
saying this verse all of your life.
No.
You can't?
Where does my strength come from? It comes from the Lord, and I can't remember the rest of it.
Okay. Do you want to try? Because you have said 3 parts of it out of order, just rambling things.
I'm not gonna get it exactly.
All right. I lift up my eyes to the hills. Are you ready? I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth.
Right.
All right.
I think I should get 2 out of 3 because that's 2 out of 3 that should not have been asked in the first place. So
I am the professor, and this
wish.
was a question that had to have all. Last question. Who took the immunity idol from Probst after winning immunity? One person from each team.
Well, nobody from No Collar.
Okay, but there's two answers. Who are the two people that took the immunity idol?
Rodney
from
took
Probst?
it from Blue Collar.
Good job.
Because he went up and because Mike made him give him a high five when he got back. And
Okay.
Rodney said, Rodney, don't give high fives to nobody unless Rodney wants to do it.
Yeah.
Let's
I
see,
didn't say I was going to
White
give you a high
Collar.
five.
I know Shireen got the tarp. Oh, Joaquin got it.
Yes, congratulations, David. You got one right.
So I passed the test.
All right,
You
bonus
are
question.
amazed. No, come
Bonus
on.
question.
I want to end on a high note.
If you get this one wrong, then you fail the test. If you get it right, you pass.
I love your rules.
All the
as they
previous
go.
questions are null and void.
Making up rules as you go.
In what order? Okay, are you listening?
No.
In what order did the no-collar tribe walk back to camp? In what order did the no-collar tribe walk back to camp?
I'm going to say I can only guess by height. So I'm just going to guess Haley, Nina, Jen, Will, and Joe.
It was Nina
first.
Haley, Jen, Will, and Joe. You failed. Sorry.
Wow, you must have took a mean bull today or something.
Oh, that was fun.
I'm glad.
I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it, David?
Yes, thoroughly.
Why do I feel like you didn't?
Your time's coming. Don't worry.
Hey, I mean, I was bored. No, but I do have an idea for a song parody. I'll have to talk to you about it afterwards because I'm not sure how it's going to work. I can't figure out from what perspective to write the song.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I'll ask you about it after we get off the air. I'm looking forward to this weekend recording Die Hard. Not recording the movie, but watching it. And
making our own version of Die Hard.
Yeah. I call the fat cop on the bottom and gets to eat donuts.
Eat the Twinkies, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Twinkies. That's right. That's right. Oh, man. All right, so that's going to be fun.
Maybe we'll have a Die Hard quiz as we go
Why would you do that?
Oh, because it just sounds fun, and I'm bored.
Oh, man. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching and or listening. If you're part of our chat wing, thank you so much. Follow us on Twitter at Survivor_talk. Join the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/SurvivorTalk. Join the Movie Talk page, or Movie Talk group. I pulled a David, called it a page. Facebook.com/group/MTWDD. Subscribe to the iTunes podcast. It has all of our previous 22 episodes of Shooting the Breeze. So we will start off Movie Talk with D&D with quite a few episodes. We do seriously want to thank you. We have 18 patrons who but who give a gift of as little as $1 and as many as, I think, $12 a month to the D&D, to us and our podcasting. Thank you so much. We're only 2 away from 20 and only $41 a month away from a special patron-only podcast, which I think will be a lot of fun. I do want to encourage you to use our links to shop Amazon. I know we've put a little 30-second commercial in the middle of the show, so we didn't have to talk about it a lot. But it's the end of the show. We literally have only had 7 purchases in the last 13 days, which is really odd. So I'm wondering if something's not right. But just make sure that you use our link and make sure you don't already have something in your wish list or in your cart before you use our link. All right, so just want to encourage you to do that. Thank you so much, because we literally could not do D&D entertainment /podcasting without your support. So thank you so much. So, David, you got anything else before we head on out? Got any big plans for the weekend?
I'm hanging out with my little mini-me most of the weekend because the women got plans, seems like, all weekend.
Yeah.
So we got Easter production practice all day Saturday and Sunday and all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah. And you're going to see the Pharisees and you're going to think, Dan Foley's here.
Danimal. I might just have to get a picture.
Yeah. What's the Marvel poster on the back behind you?
It's just variety of different characters from Marvel. Some of the Guardians of the Galaxy, some other folks, Captain Marvel, and Ant-Man, and a few other folks.
I gotta tell you something. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. In fact, I bought it on iTunes.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
Really loved it. So, also, I went ahead and subscribed to CBS All Access.
Mm-hmm.
You get, like, if you use one of our links on our website, you get a free week. So, I mean, you might as well try it. You can go watch some old Brady Bunches or something, right? But it's pretty cool. You can basically watch any episode from any season. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
And you can watch all the seasons of Survivor on it.
Yeah.
But I'm already in one, so I'm not watching it.
Yeah,
it's crazy, though. It doesn't have Lost. CBS's biggest show ever, and it doesn't have Lost. But you can watch Lost on Netflix. So.
You serious?
Yeah.
Lost is an ABC show.
Oh, is it? Oh, oops.
You failed the test.
I did fail that test.
One question, and you missed it.
Wait, no, you didn't ask me a question. All right, ask me a question, David.
I win.
Ask me a question.
I win.
No, ask me a question right now. Go ahead. I will get it right.
Who was the last character to speak on the finale of Lost?
Well, that would be Jack. Do you know the answer?
No, I don't. I'll just make it up the question.
Well, let's see if Siri knows.
Since I'm the professor.
Who was the last character to speak in the series finale of Lost?
Looking. Here's what I found on the web for who was the last character to speak in the series finale of Lost.
All right, let's see. Wikipedia. I
thought it was Hurley. Hurley and
oh, it might have been. Oh yeah, because
Ben?
Hurley. Oh wait, we can't spoil it for people. I mean, I seriously, that's a pretty big deal. We can't spoil it for people. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna say you're right, and I bet it was Hurley or, AKA Ben.
Right.
All right. Well, anyway, so
I can't remember which scene was last. Now those two, because it should have been Jack.
Yeah. See, I would think it would be Jack because he started the whole thing.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it was Jack. Is Mike K watching? Is he on Chatwing?
No.
He probably knows. Encyclopedia Mike, the man detective, the boy detective. Anyway, forget it.
The man Britannica.
I'm getting tired. And I got my first ever. Well, I have one gig set up, not like Fiverr gig. I'm not on Fiverr anymore doing voice acting. I'm doing it on my own. So you can go to stroudvoice.com and listen to my demos. But I have one job. I just don't have a script yet. But I got a script for a job, and I'm doing it tomorrow morning, David.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited about it.
Now, is your voice different in the morning than at night?
No. Well, I have to warm it up in the morning. I can't just come in and start talking.
Because it was funny. I watch old clips of Johnny Carson because I think they're just hilarious. And there's one clip where he's talking to Frank Sinatra, and he gets interrupted by Don Rickles, and it's very, very funny. But before Rickles comes out there, he's just talking to Sinatra, and they're talking about music, and Carson asked him the question, a lot of people listen to your music when they're dancing or having romantic time with their spouse. So who do you listen to? So he mentioned some people. But when he was asking him, he said, I know, you're going to the studio tonight to record, and it's because a lot of people, their voices are stronger and better at night because they've been up. I mean, that when you sing at choir, you sing better at night than you would first thing in the morning. Right. So that's why I was wondering if you might want to wait until your voice warms up more natural warm up.
I could record it tonight.
Yes, you
could.
Why don't you do that? Record it tonight and record it tomorrow and see what the difference is.
I have to record our show intro tonight after I get off.
You should do that.
The one I sent you that you said don't read it. I was like, what?
Yes. Do it.
Well, why don't you hang around? You could do it with me.
Or I can just listen. Or I could go watch the hours of TV I have set up on my DVR. I'm so behind on my shows.
Oh, well, I'm very sorry. All right, everybody. That is all I've got. How about you, Dave?
I'm good.
Let's send him out with a little Marvin Gaye.
I've been really trying, baby, trying to hold back this feeling for so long. And
Bye, everybody.
See ya.